What's up guys, FlamingVictini here and I'm back for another SPL video. Now before I get right into it, I want to just quickly explain why I haven't uploaded in the past 2 weeks. And actually, quick plug right here, follow my Twitter, twitter.com/FlamingVictini or whatever it is. Basically, I just post a lot of updates there on how things are going. So if I haven't been uploading, check my Twitter. I'll probably have said something about it. I also put the Pokemon Go stuff there if you're into that. Sometimes I put other random stuff. And yeah, so just follow my Twitter. But anyway, so I explained there that I had a chess tournament 2 weeks ago over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this video was actually, I was supposed to record that on Thursday before. Uploaded it during the weekend, record another SPL video, upload then, and just get it all, keep it going basically. But I was really tired on Thursday. I didn't have time to build for my game versus C Dumas Friday morning. Didn't have time to record anything, and I just fell really far behind. And then the last week and the next 2 weeks are pretty stressful for me. After that though, I'll be pretty free. But I think I'm really gonna try to keep the schedule going, especially now that school year is coming to a close in like a few months. And yeah, so anyway, let's get right into the SPL game. I'm going to be playing, this is my week 5 game, I think, week 5, yeah, versus BTB. Actually a long time, bro. I remember a long time back, BTB uploaded an RMT of a Heracross Zapdos team, and I remember that time I was a team raider. I had time for that, and I raided his team, gave some comments, he talked to me, it was pretty chill. So yeah, shoutouts to BTB. But anyway, so he's going to be using a Hawlucha offense, bulky offense team. I'm going to be using some nice fat with some trapping, Magnezone, Weavile. Got a lot of hazards with T-Spikes, Spikes, Rocks, and SD Gliscor. So he's got a Weavile. I've got Toxapex, can pretty consistently switch into it. I've got Ferrothorn. He's got a Heatran. I have a Gliscor that completely stops Heatran, unless it's Z-Fire, and I have to be really wary about that, because I don't really know what his Z-move is. I know his Bulu is top probably AV, his Hawlucha is Grassy Seed SD, probably a Roost, and I just really need to keep Mew alive for that, keep maybe Hawlucha, definitely keep Weavile Eye-Shard around as an option. Hawlucha should be good. I can't tell whether Garchomp is Scarf, or, like, I can't tell whether Heatran is Rocks and Garchomp is Scarf, or if Garchomp is Rocks, Heatran is like Z offensive, or Garchomp is Z Rocks and Heatran is just lefties offensive Magma Trapper. I can't really tell because he's gotten a Hawlucha for speed control and he's got 2 priority users, but he doesn't have any other speed outside of that, so I can see Scarf Chomp. But I also feel like it could definitely be SD Rocks, so I have to keep that in mind. Scizor, I mean, he's really weak to T-Spikes, so that makes me think that his Scizor probably is Defog, but if it's not, I mean, I can just keep setting him up. Toxapex is just really great for me. And if he's not Z-Tran, like, I have pretty good options. I'm mostly worried about, I most basically just want to keep on my hazards. Trap Scizor, so if it's Defog, I can't keep on removing them. And I should be pretty good. His main tool of breaking is going to be the Garchomp if it's SD, Heatran if it's Z, Weavile with Pursuit Games, and like, especially since like I need my Mew to handle it, switch into AV Bulu safely, switch into Hawlucha. So yeah, so basically my plan is just get up hazards and go from there. So with that plan, I'm going to lead Toxapex, he leads Scizor and is going to go straight for the U-turn, as I'm going to lay up my T-Spikes on the Heatran switch in. Now, I guess this is sort of semi-risky, but I just go to Gliscor. Will-O-Wisp isn't run that frequently on Heatran, so I'm able to get Gliscor in. Now, here's the thing. Roost would have been really good here if he switches out to Scizor, which I expect. But if he's Z and has the balls to stay in and go for the Z-Fire and just kills me, I think I pretty much just lose the game. And that's basically what my main concern was. So I go straight for the EQ, knowing that if his Scizor does come in, I'm going to get some chip on it, get it closer to range of HP Fire from my Magnezone, and I can just Roost off. The worst he can do is Defog, and he does indeed Defog. So I'm going to get my Gliscor back up to full. I still don't know the Heatran's item. I'm just going to go for some EQ chip. I think it should be in HP Fire range now. If not, definitely after Rocks. And so he's just going to U-turn out and bring in his Weavile. So I definitely expect him to go for the knockoff. I don't know. Okay, so basically this game had a lot of situations where I could read him, but I didn't want to make the read because if I got it wrong, I'd lose the game. And so that affected a lot of my decisions this game, that I was afraid to make a play that would instantly lose me the game when I knew I could just keep playing safe and still have good winning chances. So, I mean, if I stayed in there and I EQ'd the sweep out, it would have been really, really amazing for me. But, yeah, so I go to my Ferrothorn, he goes for the knockoff, I get some chip on him, and I can go for the Leech Seed. This way I can take 2 knockoffs whenever he switches in. Plus, if his Heatran stays in, I get to see if it's leftovers or Z-move. Yeah, basically that was also the main reason why I want to go for Leech Seed. Spikes would have been really, really good. I would have loved to get Spikes up, but I felt like Leech Seed was just a better play in that moment. He does hard switch out to Garchomp as I go to Toxapex. Nice play on his part. I went to Pex because Leech Seed is up. I can definitely keep my thing alive. He sort of hides what item his Heatran has if he's cautious. If he's conscious of that fact that I'm trying to figure out his Heatran's item. Sorry, I don't know why, I just lost my train of thought right there on that word. Plus Garchomp's a nice move, it threatens Gliscor, threatens Pex. Overall a really nice play on BTB. I'm going to switch out my Muse. He goes for the SD. So now I know that this Garchomp is SDZ. I know it's probably going to go for the Devastating Drake, so I'm just going to sack my Ferrothorn, as he does indeed go for the Drake, and actually OHKO my Ferrothorn, damn. I'm going to go to my Weavile, and right here, oh man, right here I really, really, really wanted to go for the knockoff and hit the Heatran. But if I hit knockoff and he stays in, I lose the game instantly. So, I don't know, I think I should have gone for it. In hindsight, I think I should have gone for it because it would have made the rest of the game so much easier. Like, really, really so much easier to go for that knockoff. But I go for the Icicle Crash. It reveals his leftovers on Heatran anyway, so now I know Gliscor is safe. He goes to his Weavile, good play on his part again. I once again expect the knockoff, once again just go hard Toxapex anyway, knowing he can take 2. And I'm just going to recover off as he goes to Garchomp. So I'm slowly falling back, making my safe plays. Here I'm going to make a risky play, go straight to Weavile. I think this is my only play, because Weavile can take any one of Garchomp's unboosted hits. So once again, it's not an instantly losing play. Like going Mew on an SD was instantly losing, because even though Mew can Ice Beam and almost take out the Garchomp, it's just mess. It's just a mess. So he's gonna switch out again to Heatran. I once again go for the safe Icicle Crash, and really I think if I just pulled the trigger once in these first 20 or so turns, it would have been really good. I'm going to pull the hard switch to Gliscor again as he goes to his Heatran. Here I'm going to try to pull the trigger. I go to Sweat Magnezone as he actually reveals Protect on his Heatran. Definitely did not expect that. I expected either Tapu Bulu or Scizor. So I pulled the hard to Magnezone, but this is fine because I get Volt Switch chip damage on this Heatran, get a switch to Gliscor anyway. Waste some Magma Storms. I'm going to have to Roost, so he gets a free switch basically. But I'm going to be back up to full. He gets Weavile in, and really, I think my long-term game plan was to basically weaken the Weavile, and that involves me getting up hazards and just passively stalling it out. But yeah, I'm gonna Roost again. He pursues this time on the Gliscor switch, so this means now my Gliscor is basically I'm very threatened by Heatran. I felt like he might go Heatran, but I felt like it was also best for me to get out my T-Spikes. Just because the T-Spikes are so good for the Weavile, for the Garchomp. For the Bulu, not as much, but still so good. He goes hard for a Magma Storm and misses as I go for a Scald. Now, this Magma Storm miss could have mattered. In the worst case scenario for me, it meant he would have been able to KO Toxapex and I'd have to revenge his Heatran by Volt Switching with my Magnezone. That's the worst case scenario that could happen. But it's not even that bad of a scenario, and I can definitely outplay by recovering on Protect or whatsoever, whatever I want. He goes for a Protect here. I'm just gonna spam Scald, no point in doing anything else. He goes for the Magma Storm. I go for the Scald, and so this is like a similar health that he would be basically able to live the next Scald, and I'd be at this similar health. So like, if I could, I can basically, if I outpredict and Scald on Taunt and recover on non-taunts, I can win the scenario. But in the worst case, I'll always be able to Volt Switch out, KO Heatran, and escape from that. And what in case what happens is Weavile comes in, Pursuit's gonna OHKO my Talk Specs regardless of whether I switch out or not. So I assume that my best play is just to switch hard out into, I think I went Gliscor, because assuming he's not going to Icicle Crash. And he doesn't need Pursuit, so this ensures that I force that he's stuck into Pursuit. I can go to my Weavile, and I think I don't Pursuit. Oh yeah, so I don't Pursuit. Why did I not Pursuit? This was 4 weeks ago. I don't know, maybe just because the damage it does, I felt like it wouldn't be the most important thing, and it gives the next guy a free switch. I'm not entirely sure. If I had Icicle Crashed on the switch to Tapu Bulu and KO'd it, he would have been able to go Hawlucha. I would have had to go Mew, Ice Beam, then go back to Weavile and Ice Shard. Actually, Mew, and then at that point, maybe Wisp is my best play. Maybe I can't afford to Ice Beam and go Weavile and Ice Shard. I don't know, it's weird. But I went for the knockoff because I didn't want the Scizor to come in. I wanted to keep the pressure on Scizor. T-Spikes are also good for Garchomp because that allows Mew's Ice Beam to OHKO it. He goes Bulu though. This is sort of annoying, but it does mean that I am going to be able to get out my rocks. I get my Mew in. He is AV Bulu. And I'm just going to throw out my rocks. Now, I feel like he could have just gone hard Weavile, but he actually goes for a Wood Hammer. And I'm not really sure why, because with the Grassy Terrain recovery and the lefties, I'm able to live these Wood Hammers. And I just go for a softball as he stays into Wood Hammer and he's just killing himself. And I think later BTB told me that he miscounted Grassy Terrain turns. I think he was trying to keep Mew low so that he could KO it and then go to Hawlucha. And then get the Seed Boost, revenge me, and then be in a good position to just win the game. I think that's why he did this, because he miscounted Grassy Terrain turns. But his best course of action, because I failed to make any hard reads early on in the game, and he just kept on reading me, and I allowed him to sort of even up this position a bit from team advantage. What he could have done instead, gone hard to Weavile, and then it's a 50-50. Does he Pursuit on the switch, or does he knock off on my Gliscor switch? And I think at that point, whoever wins that is likely to take the game. But he does not do that for whatever reason. He could have done it on this turn too. He goes for another Wood Hammer, is going to KO himself. My Mew's going to go down, obviously. He's going to go Weavile, Pursuit me. And yeah, I let my Mew die. His Weavile's almost dead. I can go to my Weavile. I think I click Knockoff again. I do click Knockoff again. I win the speed tie. I don't really think it matters. Honestly, being able to switch up moves might have even been useful. But I go for the knock. Honestly, I don't remember if Knockoff removes the if Knockoff gives an Unburden boost. But in the worst case scenario that it did, I felt like I would just go Gliscor, spam Facade till I can go to Weavile, Ice Shard the Hawlucha. Then all I have to do is trap Scizor and then Weavile wins. So then it's just a matter of him U-turning on my Magnezone switch. I think it would still be doable, basically, if he had hard switched to Hawlucha or something like that. I didn't want to Icicle Crash because I didn't want to miss for a 1. But the other thing was I was worried that if he goes Scizor and I Icicle Crash, then I'm not putting him in range of Ice Shard if he U-turns. I think with Knockoff I can put him in range of Ice Shard if he U-turns. Yeah, because after Rocks, Knockoff, and another Rocks, he'll definitely be in range. He actually goes for Defog right here, but I don't think it matters at that point. That was a losing play, because now Ice Shard just cleans completely. He goes to Hawlucha. Maybe I should have stayed in an HP Fire just for safety's sake, but I figured Gliscor, Spam Facade is my safest way to take out this Hawlucha, because he doesn't have the terrain removed. The Acrobatic's not going to be able to KO me. So he takes out my Gliscor, and then I can just click Ice Shard twice and finish off the game. So yep, that's the game. I think basically this is a good example of how sometimes, even when you're ahead, you should pull the trigger. Sometimes it's tough, especially when pulling the trigger and getting it wrong can instantly lose the game. And in this case for me, just playing safely worked out because BTB sort of choked and basically threw away the game, I feel. By not going to Weavile, it's sort of making it like a 50-50. I really do think it would be like a 50-50. I think maybe if he went sooner in when he still had some Grassy Terrain, then maybe maybe not as much, but I feel like Gliscor was very slowly getting into a position where it has a very, very good chance of just finishing off the game. Or Magnezone trapping Scizor and then Weavile finishing off the game. I think probably in that position, what would I do? Honestly, I could totally see myself, like, I don't know, to be honest. I could very easily, it's okay, so let's say he kept his Bulu. Basically all that does is it gives him the terrain boost and the SD. Which basically, like, okay, so basically, if he had switched his Weavile out, if he had switched out his Bulu, he retains the grassy terrain. So basically what that means is he retains an option of sacking the Bulu to get Hawlucha in with the boost. And what that forces, basically, because he gets the boosted acrobatics, he'll get a chance to SD on basically anything, because I can't OHKO Hawlucha from full. So basically that forces my best line of play to be to go Gliscor into SD. It basically forces that to be my only real line of play. So I think if I lose the 50-50, meaning I lose Mew, then I have to go Gliscor afterwards regardless in SD. So in that case, my best move is probably just to switch out, because if he does Pursuit and I lose my Mew, then it's just a better chance for Gliscor to be in. But I think this game is still doable at that point, but very, very tough for me. But anyway, yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.